Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Training. I hope you're having a fantastic week. As always,
we are live from Austin, Texas, right here at Insurance Syndicate headquarters, and man, we have a great show for you.
hey, guess what? My microphone wasn't on. It's on now, though. So good morning. Hope you guys are doing great. It is Tuesday training time. I've got some great stuff to talk to you guys about, a little bit of news, a little bit of a lesson on what you can do to amplify your trajectory. But do me a solid. If you can hear me loud and clear, drop it in the comments. Let me know where you're viewing from, and let me know who you're rooting for in the World Cup. If you are indeed a World Cup enthusiast. It is one of those summers. I made a joke the other day because when my wife Grace and I met, we met in 2014, which was a World Cup year. And I was not a soccer enthusiast really then at all. Was very foreign to me. I understood, I saw the game, but I never watched the games, never understood what the hell was going on. She explained it to me and I got super into it and really enjoyed it. And then now here we are. Many summers later, and she is now measuring our marriage in terms of how many World Cups that we viewed together. This is our 4th World Cup anniversary. So, and obviously I got my Colombia jersey on. I don't have any choice in that matter. I can't pick who I get to support and choose. I'm told who I get to support and choose, which is Team Colombia. So let's go. All right. Real quick, man, I'm going to dive right into this. As always, this show is brought to you by DFY, or Done For You CRM, which is my CRM of choice. Again, man, I've said this many times, but if for any reason you are an agent out there and you are not, you do not have access to a CRM, like that's a problem. You need something that you can keep your customers' information in. Their name, their phone number, their contact information. And now with all the technology, we got tools for automations, email campaigns, yada, yada, yada. All of that is built in the DFY, and it is very easy to use. Feel free to give Tim James or Eric Fierro a holler, and they can get you a demo on it. First up to bat, you probably saw this. I posted this in the group, I think last Friday, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was last Saturday. I'm not sure. But Baylor Scott & White has announced that they are now exiting the marketplace for ACA plans, etc. For some of you agents that were working in that space, you probably remember they pulled commissions at one point. Like they said, hey, we're still going to do marketplace plans, but we're not going to pay any brokers commissions on it, which doesn't surprise me now that this is the next step that we're hearing from them, that they are now completely exiting the ACA market. So for us guys here in Texas, and especially Central Texas, that may affect you some. That is, in my opinion, was one of the stronger products. I, myself and Grace, actually, for a few years, were covered by Baylor Scott & White. So all around a good product. Most people like it because of the network and access to the Baylor Scott & White health system. But they're out, man. They are leaving. And they have made it very clear in this email that I was one of many agents that received that they're pulling out of the ACA market. They are going to focus on group business and Medicare Advantage, period. Would be cool if they would get into the Medicare supplement space and actually put out a really strong Medicare supplement product in the area. But they don't have any plans for that. They're going to stay in the managed care side, again, focusing on group and Medicare Advantage, which if you're an agent working with them in the group space, like that could be a very good opportunity for you to also scoop up good Medicare business as those people are retiring and moving on. So I have told group agents many times, I've had several group agents, some work with me now as agents, independent agents. And I've told them several times, like, hey, man, if you're a group agent, you have a built-in referral system for Medicare. You just have to teach the benefits administrators or the HR team or whoever it is at those companies to recognize when their employees are turning 65 and hand them a simple sheet of paper that says, hey, Hector, welcome to Medicare. You need to understand how your group insurance coordinates with your Medicare benefits. Here's who we align ourselves with, right? Avila Medicare Solutions or whoever it is. You can contact them to understand exactly what's going on there and what you need to do. Pretty simple. Anyway, for those of you that are selling ACA or were selling, I can't imagine you were selling it very recently because, again, like I said, they're not paying commissions on it. Now they're exiting. So you may need to be looking for some new marketplace products or marketplace coverage. Moving along, I got a little more news, and then we are going to dive into our topic for the day. As always, there is some fraud out there in the world. Imagine that, huh? But an Ohio physician has now been sentenced for her role in healthcare fraud conspiracy that billed Medicare more than $1.8 million. 42-year-old Muna Ora of Westlake, Ohio, was sentenced to 5 years of probation. You get probation for bilking the government out of 1.8 milli? Why is that not at least some level of prison time? All right, she gets 5 years of probation after she pled guilty in January to making false statements related to healthcare matters. She was ordered to pay $997,000, just shy of $1 million in restitution to CMS. According to court documents, she used her position as a licensed medical doctor in the state of Ohio to issue doctor's orders for durable medical equipment, primarily braces and genetic testing for patients who did not need the equipment and tests to be authorized. No need for me to go through the rest of this because it's the same damn story. How many physicians, right, have we brought up on this show or talked about or seen that are out there running this durable medical equipment scam? It's to the tune of billions of dollars. I mean, I've already pointed out twice on this show, 2 cases alone that were over $1 billion each. And then here's just one person. This is one of the smaller cases we've seen for only 1.8 million. But I like to point that out for a couple of reasons. Number one, just to let everybody know, like, fraud absolutely exists in the Medicare space. It's rampant, it's disgusting, and it's one of the reasons why the cost of Medicare continues to go up, why the cost of Part B goes up, why the Part A deductibles go up, why Medicare supplement insurance prices go up. It's why Medicare Advantage plans have prior authorization at the level that they do, is to try and prevent all of this crap. So, and the second reason I like to talk about it, because as an agent in the Medicare space, if you're an agent out there in the Medicare space, you need to educate your clients to pay attention to their explanation of benefits that they receive from Medicare that shows what was billed under their Medicare number. And they can identify fraud. I had a lady here in Cedar Park that identified, she called me, she's like, hey, there's some weird stuff on my Medicare explanation of benefits that I don't understand. It appears that I'm being billed for urinary catheters. And I took some time, talked to her about it, and said, well, number one, you are not being billed. You're not on the hook for this money, but they're using your Medicare number to bill Medicare for urinary catheters. And it was something like $7,000 a month that they were billing. And that's just one person, right? That was the company Sunshine Senior Solutions out of Florida. They're still at it from what I've seen, although they have been, they had a guy here. They had an operation here in Austin. There was a Russian fellow that got arrested. I talked about that. I think it was maybe last year, if I remember correctly. So it's out there, and as an agent, like, it's incumbent upon you to help your clients understand that fraud exists in Medicare and how they can stay away from it. One, pay attention to your explanation of benefits. Look for items that are being billed under your Medicare number so that you can help us identify fraud and get it eliminated. Because if you don't, well, then the cost of Medicare is going to go up for everybody, unfortunately. It's already well known that the hospital trust fund is on road to be depleted somewhere around 2035. So, like, what are the solutions to that? Are they going to raise taxes? Are they going to extend the age of Medicare to make it deeper? Are they going to lower it as a means to offset it? Reduce benefits? Like, all of those are on the table. Nobody knows what the exact solution is yet. And then secondarily, You need to explain to your clients that, hey, Medicare will never call you on the phone. They only communicate by mail. So if someone calls you on the phone and is trying to talk Medicare, it could be another agent like me, hopefully a reputable one, but it could easily also be one of these fraudsters out there trying to get your Medicare number. They're that's their whole purpose. They're strictly just trying to get that beneficiary to say their Medicare number out loud. And once they have that, is game on for fraudulent billing. So pay attention. And David Abrams down there is saying, hey, man, I live in Delray Beach, Florida. And yes, they are still in business. It's incredible. Sunshine Senior Solutions. Dave, you should walk in there today and ask them if they have any urinary catheters available, if you have any free time. Just roll in and go, hey, you guys got any urinary catheters, maybe laying around for all of these millions of dollars that you've been ordering urinary catheters that nobody needs? All right, moving along. I got one, and I'm not going to go through this one deep. This is mostly for a little bit of flex, I guess. But this is a really good article. If you were not super savvy with how the Inflation Reduction Act affected the Medicare Part D world, right? Prescription drugs. This is a great article to read. It is off of, I snagged it off of Drug Channel's Expert Insights on Pharmaceutical Economics and the Drug Distribution System. And basically, this gentleman is confirming with a little more detail now, pretty much everything that a lot of us said, and certainly what I was warning people about when I saw this coming down the road, that all they were doing is going to shift the money, shift the cost, and a lot of it is going to go back on the consumer. Now, I know most people, when they think of the Inflation Reduction Act and what it did for Part D, they think of two primary things. Number one, $35 insulin. Number two, a $2,000 or a $2,100 cap on your total cost of prescription drugs, assuming obviously they're covered under the formulary. Absolutely. Sounds great. Sounds great. And for a lot of people, it definitely helped them out, and that wasn't the first time we had $35 insulin. All the IRA did, we were already getting $35 insulin prior to the IRA. And just to be clear, that's Inflation Reduction Act, not Irish Republican Army. We were already getting $35 insulin prior to that. All the IRA did was basically sustain it, right? That's pretty much it. It just codified it as law. This is how it's going to operate going forward. And then the other big thing it did is it readjusted the cost phases for who's paying what when, shifted a lot of the costs back to the insurance company and back to the consumer and off of Medicare's shoulders, and then put a hard cap on the consumer, which meant that the insurance companies, Humana's, Aetna's, SilverScript, et cetera, all have to pick up a much larger piece of the pie when it comes to covering the prescriptions. And that resulted in now going down, like, what do we have now? 13 maybe, depending on the state you're in, I think. I think there's only about 13 drug plans out there anymore. There used to be probably like 30, 35 of them. Why? Why did that happen? Well, it's because the companies can't make any money on them now. It's unprofitable. So not only can they not even sustain a product that they had to pull out of the market, they can't pay agents commissions on them, and they jacked up the rates to help them offset their cost. So now we have drug plans that are no longer, $12 and $15 and $25 and $30. We have drug plans that are $85 and $105 and $108 and whatever. And still with very high co-payments, right? So on one hand, there are a percentage of the population that made out like gangbusters on the Inflation Reduction Act, because instead of having to hit the catastrophic thresholds that we had previous to that, right, which are in the $5,000 and $6,000 marks, now they have a $2,000 cap. $2,100 this year. It'll be back to $2,000 next year. Great. But now we also have a bunch of people that were paying couple of $100 a year, $300 a year, maybe $500 a year in their scripts, and now they're all paying $2,000, every one of them, because of the way this has arranged it. This guy goes through it in great detail and talks about how the formularies have had to readjust, the scope of the formularies have had to narrow. So what it's a big part of what it's done is it's also reduced access. We have tighter formularies with more strict usage rules, et cetera, right? Step therapy, prior authorization, et cetera, et cetera. He even gets into the details specific to the multiple sclerosis market on it. Great article. I would highly recommend you go through it. I don't have time to teach the whole thing on here, but he goes through exactly what happened. And this is the big part of it right here, that the plan's liability increased from 20% to 60% in the catastrophic phase. So, yeah, if the insurance companies are going to have to pick up more, and hey, don't get me wrong, like I'm all about insurance companies paying their fair share, but there could have been a better way, I'm sure, in how to map this out instead of just sticking the insurance companies with a huge bill that now reduces their profitability, reduces the number of plans they can put out in the market, reduces their ability to pay agents commission for helping people shop their plans. Ultimately, in the long run, all they've done is really make it more difficult, and they've hurt the consumer. This thing needs to be reconfigured 100%. And then if you go down to, he says it best at the very bottom, the last word he says, or the last lesson. He says the lesson here is that when you change who pays, you change what gets covered. And so just be ready for the trade-offs that come with it, because they're still, I don't think, fully represented yet. So I believe we will see more. So check this article out. If you're in the Medicare space and you want to get a good understanding of the Inflation Reduction Act, read through this. And maybe we should set aside another Tuesday training to go through it pretty deep. I've done one in the past on all the updates and everything, but maybe it's time to do another one. But I will definitely get this in the group for you guys. All right, so moving on. Topic of the day that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and it probably won't take too long. I might spend the rest of the hour on this. It might only take me 20, 30 minutes to really cover it. But I wanted to talk about the idea of how you can amplify your trajectory. And what do I mean by trajectory? Right? The curve that you're on. Some people are on a flat line. Some people are on a downward spiral, and some people are moving upwards, right? Some people are growing. They're becoming more successful. They're developing themselves. They're making things happen, right? Et cetera. So whether you are already on a good trajectory or you're on a flat line, like my goal is to give you some real simple ideas for what you can do to increase that and keep it moving upwards, and maybe sharpen the curve where it's moving upwards at an even faster rate. And this stuff I'm about to talk to you about is not really rocket science by any means, right? The first thing is, obviously, you need to have some goals for what you're trying to accomplish. You need to have benchmarks. You need to have targets that you're shooting for, right? So I'll give you an example. I am expanding Ovula Medicare Solutions, or actually Go Ovula Insurance Brokers, to include life and annuity products, right? I will personally be selling. I am going back into the field, so to speak, to grow that division myself. And I will be selling annuities. I'm going to do it through dinner seminars. What's my benchmark? Well, my benchmark number one is to get my first seminar done, which is coming up hopefully by the end of July. I've got everything in order. I just need to find the location. But the real benchmark, like my long benchmark, is $18 million in annuities in 18 months, right? I've got 18 months because I know the first probably 3 to 6 months are going to be slower, because I'm going to go through a learning process. It's going to take me a little more time to work whatever cases I get from that first seminar before I can get ready to throw the next one and just continue to scale it as a duplicative process. But the goal is 18 million in 18 months. So it's June right now. So by December of 27, I should have written $18 million in annuities. That's roughly $1 million in my pocket, personal commissions. Not too shabby. So that's our benchmark goal, right? That's the stretch goal, as they say. So as an agent, the first thing you need to do is you need to have some goals to build that direction. Because if you want to amplify your trajectory in any capacity whatsoever, you can't amplify it if you don't have a target to amplify it to. That is rule number one. Right? You might be able to make some adjustments and increase some things and get things going, but no. If your goal is to increase your trajectory for personal development, growth, more money, more success, whatever it may be, right? You need to have a benchmark, a stretch goal, and some targets to get you there. 100%. Absolutely. That's the first step, man. If you don't have that, you're out of whack. The second is you need to learn to apply leverage when you have it. And you have leverage. You already have leverage as an insurance agent because you're the authority. You're the one that's licensed when you're involved in that conversation. But more importantly, like understanding like what is leverage. Leverage is obviously your ability to help. I don't want to say apply pressure, but it's your ability to exercise your upper hand, right? One of the best places that you have immediate leverage is in vendors that you might work with, as an example. Whether it's buying leads, buying direct mail campaigns, maybe it's your CPA, your landlord, whatever. What are some ways that you can apply leverage with those relationships so that you get what you want out of the relationship? And if you're not getting what you want, then just move your money elsewhere. Pretty simply. But the biggest thing that I want to talk about in that regards is how do you improve, right? Or more importantly, maybe, how do I improve my effectiveness of applying leverage or amplifying my leverage? I'm going to give you guys a second to think about that. How do you improve your resources, and how do you improve your effectiveness of having and applying leverage in any relationship, transaction, whatever it might be? It's through investing in yourself, education, and growing your skill set and your knowledge base, etc. It's one of the best ways to do it. If you're an insurance agent and you want to increase your ability to have leverage with folks, you need, number one, you need to invest in relationships. You need to make sure you have some good ones, but also like invest in your knowledge of those types of relationships. Invest in your knowledge of your game, your craft, your skill set, your sales ability, because all of those things are going to give you more authority, more leverage to use to get what you want out of the deal, right? And I'm not talking about manipulating people. I'm talking about understanding that as an authority, as an insurance agent, I can invest in myself to grow my skill set, to grow my knowledge base, and use that as a leverage point so that more people want to work with me, whether that is insurance clients in any capacity, or it's insurance agents in any capacity. If you're in the recruiting space, right? How can I grow myself, my resources to become more effective at using the leverage that I have as an authority in the industry? And the best place to do that is starting with your education and investing in yourself. 100%. The next piece is alignment. And this is probably where I'm going to rattle off a little longer. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who are you aligning yourself with? Are you aligning yourself with people that are on a flat trajectory? Are you aligning yourself with people that are on a downward spiral, a downward trajectory? Are you hanging out with killers that are on the uptick? They're on the upswing. They're moving up. Their trajectory is higher. They're investing in their own growth. They're investing in their business. They're growing their influence. They're growing their leverage in the marketplace. Who are you hanging around with? Are you finding like-minded people to spend time with? Doesn't mean you have to become their best friend, spend all the time in the world with them, but are you spending time with and allowing them to influence you, allowing them to affect you in a positive manner so that you also can improve and increase your trajectory for where you're going? And again, that doesn't matter if whether you're looking for money. I'm just talking about growth. If the growth is in money, if the growth is in knowledge, if the growth is in skill set, if the growth is in business expansion, whatever that growth is for you that you want, that you need, and that you're looking for, are you aligning yourself with the people that can help you get to that next space? Whether it's through a hand up, just through knowledge, just through energy and synergy. Like one of the reasons, to give you an example, that I love hanging around Joe Campert and why he is in my alignment circle is because of his energy. The energy that he puts out into the space is always extremely positive. He radiates it. Same thing with my wife. I love spending time around my wife, especially in business settings, for the same reason. She radiates a positivity constantly, right? When she walks into a room, it's immediately elevated in a lot of ways because she brings that energy around others and she brings it with me, right? So she has a very positive outlook and a drive to increase that. Love spending time with her for that reason. A big part of it, right? But there's other people. Like I took time to go fly out and spend time with my buddy Pete Fournier. Same reason. I'm trying to align myself with people that are going to help me reach this trajectory and this benchmark that I'm shooting for. So, and Pete is an outstanding example of the business in so many levels. Like, he's very good at advanced market sales, annuity sales. He's very sharp. His sales skills are top notch, very savvy, moving in a positive direction, an upward trajectory. Those are the type of people I want to spend my time with. So I invested in myself to spend time with the right people so that I can increase my leverage, right, through alignment, aligning myself with the right people. If you've ever heard me talk about the eight relationships, or the 8 levels of relationships that exist in the insurance space, alignment is where, level 6, your colleagues, right, is where you find alignment. And there's a lot of people in this industry that don't participate in the industry. And that's okay, man. If you're a loner, you like your solitude, you don't want to get around people and be part of the industry, no worries. I get it. That's your choice completely. I'm not dissing on that. I know a bunch of very high level producers from my days recruiting in the wholesale space, of guys in this industry that you'll never see them at events. Even if they win an award, they probably still won't even show up, right? It's like those people in the movies that they'll win the Oscar or the Academy Award, whatever it is, and they don't show up to even retrieve it for themselves. Maybe they send somebody at most, right? They don't care to participate in that area. And I'm certainly not trying to compare the insurance industry to the Oscars or Academy Awards. I'm just using that as a reference point. But there are a lot of producers that don't participate with their colleagues. They don't get out. They don't go to industry events. You don't see them at NABIP events. You won't see them at conferences. You probably won't even ever see them. They're just sitting in their home office, knocking out their business, right? There are plenty of them. But for the majority of the insurance industry, they are out there meeting with people, right? Going to NABIP events, or going to NAHU events, or NAFA events, or HAFA events, or insurance conferences that are all around. And they're trying to invest in themselves to increase their leverage by aligning themselves with the right people, right? So when you're going to events, seek out people, look for some of the people that you can align yourselves with properly. Your colleagues in this industry are some of the best people to spend time with, in my opinion, because in a lot of cases, they're on a similar trajectory that you are. Maybe they're a little ahead of you. Maybe they're a little behind you, right? Maybe they have some skill sets, some knowledge, some secrets, some synergy, or some energy that they can rub off on you and influence you. Maybe you'll find a strategic partnership in there that can amplify your trajectory even more. That's another lesson between me and Joe Camper. Like, he's in the P&C space. I'm in the Medicare space. I can't even spell P&C. He still thinks Medicare and Medicaid are the same thing, right? But we got together and we developed a strategic partnership for how we can attract and influence more people in our space through the insurance syndicate Facebook groups, media, et cetera, et cetera. Now we share an office together. It helps us get more space. We have a beautiful office, saves us a few bucks where we don't have to spend all our own money getting an office like this. So how can you find people that you can develop strategically and align yourselves with to amplify that trajectory, right? So number 1, you got to have some goals to set your benchmarks. Number 2, learn to increase your leverage by investing in yourself and educating yourself and growing your skill set. Number 3, align yourself with the right people. Who are you aligning yourself with? Audit them. And don't be afraid to walk away from some of those relationships, or maybe not walk away from the bad ones, but, at least distance yourselves, right? If there's people that you realize are influencing you negatively, like, learn to distance yourself and seek out people that have like-mindedness, similar trajectory, or going where you want to go, and hang out with those folks. And that's one of the things I've always been amazed of. Most of the people that are hardworking, goal setters, motivated people that are on a high level trajectory and they're moving in that direction, most of them are really cool people to hang out with. Granted, yeah, there's going to be a couple of jerks in every group, but the majority of people that are in that space, that are in that thought process, they're really enjoyable people to hang out with, and they love having other people around them that they can synergize with and talk to and align themselves with as well, because they know that they're going to get some mojo off of that that's going to help them continue on their trajectory and amplify it. And then the final thing I wanted to talk about in that regards is multiple streams of income. Like once you start achieving some of these goals, once you start building your leverage, once you are aligning yourself with all the right people and an improved group of people around you, business professionals, friends, whatever. Now, how can I start increasing my income through multiple streams of income? And I'm not here to sell you anything or recruit you for something, just in case you're worried like, oh, he's about to try to sell us something now. Here it comes. Here's the sales pitch. No. But you need to learn to develop multiple streams of income for yourself, because that is going to make everything just easier and easier and easier, right? Most of my income is derived from the insurance industry, but it comes from multiple sources. As an example, I have my own personal production that I wrote many years ago that is vested to me. Certainly it's not as big as it used to be, but I still get checks in the mail. Pardon me. I still get direct deposits from business that I wrote. That was 20 years ago. 20 and 20 or in 15 to 20 years ago, from 2004 to 2009, 2005 to 2009, right in there. I still get equitable vested income from my time in wholesale. I get a fat deposit every month for that. That's another stream of income. I have an IMO agency now that I'm getting another stream of income, and that agency alone has multiple streams of income built into it. Granted, again, they are primarily derived from the insurance space, but I have overrides from external agents that we're working with, then supporting and mentoring. I have agency income inside the business where we have agents that are working in our direct-to-consumer division. I have my personal production that I put in, etc. So how can I then branch myself out to create multiple streams of income that are going to grow my pocketbook, and then I can refill this circle? Because as you earn more money and as you grow that part of your business, you can turn right back around and increase your leverage with that money. And as you grow in the new spaces, you're going to have to go back through alignment and find new people that can meet you at this new trajectory that you're on, this new level. And now, okay, now how do I move myself to that next space? So you're going to need another group of people probably. Maybe it's still some of the same people you were aligning yourself with. Doesn't mean you leave behind the other folks. Just like, okay, now I need to tap into another level of knowledge. Who can I align myself with there so that I can increase my income streams? And then every time you do that, it's a repetitious circle. As you grow your income, you're able to invest in yourself and increase your leverage so that you can grow it even more by aligning yourself with the right people that can get you to that next level, and so forth and so forth. And it's pretty much a repeating cycle, right? So number one, develop some goals. Number two, understand that you already have leverage. Learn how to use it. Learn how to grow it. Invest in yourself to increase your leverage. Number three, align yourself with the right people that can help push you on your trajectory and give you that mojo, and that y'all can run together. What is the, I don't think it's a Buddhist phrase up there, but I think it's a Middle Eastern or Indian phrase, Hindu maybe, is that if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together, right? Or as I like to say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go ovula, right? Align yourself with the right people and create that mojo to help push you along. And then finally start expanding your income. Multiple streams of income in the insurance space could easily be multiple product lines as you grow. It could also mean more agents in your group. You're scaling something, right? So don't think that multiple streams of income means that, oh, now that I'm doing pretty good in the insurance space, I have to go learn to be a real estate agent, right? And do something. No. Think about the different lanes that exist in insurance as those multiple streams. It's kind of what I'm talking about. Perhaps I didn't say that correctly originally, but that's the way I was looking at it, right? How can I develop more income through multiple lanes, multiple veins of business, right? We're primarily a Medicare shop here. That's only one lane. Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage, whatever. That's all one lane. Hospital indemnity is still, I'm calling that one lane. This life and annuity space that we're going to go ovula into, certainly it's still insurance, but it's another lane of business. It's a secondary stream of business and income that we can bring into the agency and to ourselves. Right? Working with external agents as a mentor and helping them grow is another stream of income that I can get and earn and grow my business with, so that I can then invest in same concept for your business, not just yourself personally. As we're growing these incomes, I can take that money invested into GoOvula to increase GoOvula's leverage as an authority and brand in the marketplace so that we can align ourselves with more people so that we can develop more streams of income. This ain't rocket science, man. But it starts with having a goal for the trajectory that you want to be on, investing in yourself to increase your leverage, aligning yourself with the right people so that you can grow your income and start the cycle back over. Fair enough? That is really all I got for today. It's a short lesson, like I said. I will put these articles in the group so that you guys can check them out. If there's anything I can ever do for you, just give me a holler. But more importantly, man, thank you guys for tuning in to Tuesday Training. We'll see you next week.